keeping it up. So here's kind of our larger mission. We take on effective initiatives that serve a common mission to promote the development of a sustainable green economy and to address unmet needs and complement other green initiatives through modeling, promoting sustainability, educating citizens and businesses, sponsoring and supporting sustainable initiatives that support a green economy, and documenting and measuring the county's progress in greening the economy. And we can talk to you more about that after the end. So Clean Headwaters, I really want, before Laura begins the program, I really want to talk sort of what it is. It's basically an exploration of plastic waste in the marine environment that provides an opportunity for youth to engage with their local community and watershed and take on a hands-on community science projects. Their focus is to identify the kinds of plastics and microplastics in local streams, understand the impact of plastic waste on marine health, and explore ideas for preventing, reducing, and better managing plastic waste. So I do want to do our shout out to our advisory group. Some of you are on this call. I appreciate it. We'll give you a moment later on to say hello, but Audubon Naturalist Society, American University, Montgomery Parks, Trash Free Maryland, NIH, the County Department of Environmental Protection, Montgomery College, MCPS, Outdoor Education, 4 Mile Run Foundation. These are among the experts and advisors who helped us a year and a half ago put this program together, who've done similar or close to, but have really been the support. And much of this program is made possible with support from the Chesapeake Bay Trust, Safe Healthy Playing Fields Coalition, and the Downtown Silver Spring Rotary. So with that, I'm going to send it to Laura, and you can start.
Okay. So I'm going to just go over what we do in the program and how it works. But I want to just begin with a little, a few facts on why we focus on the marine environment, why this is an important issue for introducing to the young people in Montgomery County. You can read the factoids there. You probably already know the factoids about how serious the issue of plastic waste has become globally. And what I would like to stress with you today is that we see this exploration on plastics waste in the local streams as a gateway issue. It's visible and accessible to everyone who lives here. If you are willing to take a minute to take a look, you can understand that the problem is not just a global problem out there in the stratosphere, but it's also very local. So we try to help students make the connections between plastic pollution locally and the larger world. They also, we're also making the connections between plastic pollution and climate change and other threats to the ocean, like acidification, overfishing, all of those things, which we only touch on in the project, but the whole, a big thrust of our program is making the local global, the global local. We're also, talking about toxicity issues from plastics and the whole range of things, which we hope will excite young people to continue to explore the world through their local streams. Next slide. So what we have here is we found that we are working in this class, and again, our classes, I'll tell you a bit more about the content of each one, but our program, Clean Headwaters, is offered both as an after-school program and an in-school program for upper middle school, 8th graders and high schools in Montgomery County. We found that we're working mainly from a macro to micro focus in some instances during the course of the program. We've discovered that high school students, not all, but many, are already aware of the gyres, the issue of plastic waste in the oceans at large, because there's been a lot of media coverage of that in the last few years, and that has begun to seep through. but they're not aware of its connection to their own watershed. Some students who participate in Clean Headwaters have never been to the creeks near their homes or school. And we are making the consequences of individual or local behavior clearer in this global context of this problem. We hope that we are empowering these students to engage with their local watersheds, hopefully pursue more opportunities to learn about what's closest to them. Next slide, please. So let me just kind of jump into where we begin with this program. We start with lectures in a school or institutional setting, and we show an introductory film that gives the basics about plastic pollution in the marine environment. We're introducing students to the concept of the watershed. We're giving them an idea of the scope of and size of the Chesapeake Bay watershed, and starting to make those connections. In the second session, we've really focused on how plastics waste is managed in Montgomery County. We are explaining the dual stream approach that we use here, the transfer station, how our plastics are sorted and sold, the incineration process used for trash and recyclables that are not recovered. Although sometimes our students have been to the transfer station, maybe at an elementary school field trip, for many of them, this is the first time that they've heard any of this. It's really amazing that we're catching them at this point in their education. But also quite rewarding because they are interested, they are engaged. I need to just, I should give you a little bit more background. I explained to you that the class or the course is offered in school or after school, and the level, the age group that we're really focused on. I just wanted to, let you know that in the year and a half we've been offering this program, we've been working at Blair, Kennedy, Northwood, and Sligo Middle School so far. We're hoping to add the range of schools, increase that in the next couple of semesters. The spring was a real challenge, as you might imagine, with everything going on, but there we are. We use a variety of techniques to share the information. We do have a lecture format right in the beginning. Alan from DEP, from Solid Waste, is in the photograph here. He's often come to our courses and talked to kids about the recycling process and the trash collection process in Montgomery College. So we engage people from the community, experts. It's not just Wendy and I lecturing, offering all of this information. Okay, I think we can go to the next slide. So session 3, hands down the favorite session of kids everywhere, and ours too. That is our field trip out to the local streams. These are students at Blair. They are listening to another one of our partners who might be on today, might not. He's not on yet, but he probably will be. Stephen Pierce from Audubon Naturalist Society, who comes with us and talks about stream health in general before we launch the exploration of plastics waste. And we feel that this is important because, again, it gives the context of these are your local streams, this is what's happening. If you're interested in this, you can get involved in a lot of stream issues in Montgomery County. So it's not only what we are talking about, but the larger context. We talk about erosion, we talk about litter in general, we talk about graffiti. I mean, all of these different things that are affecting the local streams, what is living in the streams, etc. So, this is a favorite. Everybody loves this. Again, sometimes these students have never been to the stream that's like 2 blocks from their school. When they come out, we are doing a major session, a 2-hour session usually, on large plastics waste as well as microplastics. I think we can go to the next slide. So you can see we've got Ivy here. She was one of our students and then later an intern on the project, collecting the large scale plastic waste. While the kids are out there, we do a mini cleanup. So they're also learning about, trash versus what's recyclable plastics, and in addition, the other items that are possibly recyclable. They're collecting samples of this. We have several data collection sheets, protocols of what they have, questions we're asking, and an analysis and a categorization of what they are collecting. They are also, as you can see in the middle images here, we are sieving for microplastics in the local streams. So depending on the school and location, we might be at Burnt Mills, we might be at Belpre Creek, we might be at Sligo Creek, just depends on the school's location. We're following a NOAA protocol to collect microplastics, or potentially microplastics, from the surface water of the stream. And so you can see here where they are passing the water collected through a couple of different sized sieves. You can see in that third image, somebody's got a chunk of styrofoam that they've picked up. You can see the girls at the end actually doing the work there. Everybody loves this. It's a lot of fun. We spend, quite a bit of time, and the kids love this. After they have collected their samples, we take those to Montgomery College to dry. Next slide. So the fourth session has been our lab analysis session with the students. And here I can't say enough great things about Montgomery College. They have been a stalwart partner in this program. They have offered, made available to our students, the Science Center's chemistry lab. Dean James Snezik from the program there at Montgomery College has been hands-on involved. They provide us the waders, field, materials, all kinds of things. So when the materials have been dried in the chemistry lab ovens, we take a field trip with the students. We've taken them there to Montgomery College to do an exploration and complete a couple of tests. But as you see in that upper right-hand photo with those younger looking kids, Dean Snezik has also come with us to the middle school to make that available to them. So can't say enough great things about their, welcoming and support for us. I think we can go to the next slide. In the labs, we conduct a couple of different tests. We have done a density test, as well as a melt test under the hood to help students identify the type of larger plastic waste that they have collected. And it's all part of that encouragement to connect the dots. If this is the kind of waste we're seeing, where's it coming from? What's my role in that? The students are also examining their dried samples under high-powered microscopes to see if there are microplastics. And voila! In every stream we have visited, as you see on that right-hand image, we have discovered microplastics. So if you look at that reddish, maybe, yeah, Wendy, you pointed out there, that long reddish piece in there, that looks like a fiber that could be a microplastic. We have also found nodules. We found bits of what looks like a sponge. Numerous things that the kids are really able to discover in that, with those higher powered microscopes in the lab. Okay, so I think we can go to the next slide. I did not put in a slide about session 5. I'm just going to mention it really quickly. That's one we do in class as well. And we talk about the latest research. We talk about state and county legislation on plastics waste. And we talk about the techniques and approaches to advocacy. So we are giving them the whole range of opportunities to explore this issue further and introducing them to what we have. But in our 6th session, which we have done at a community center in the past, we've done a career talk as well. We've invited people in to talk about their work in environmental and sustainability issues. So they get a little bit of a career, you know, prep, food for thought, as well as doing the cleanup at the local stream and getting ready for their action projects. And so that's what I want to emphasize here is our program culminates with action projects. We encourage students to create a project over 6 weeks that addresses preventing plastics waste or reducing or better managing it. We ask them to be sure to include a local perspective and demonstrate leadership, but they're free to engage any audience, school, faith groups, youth groups, neighborhood groups, nonprofits, public agencies, what have you, in order to share that action project and to hopefully get results from that. And I think we can go to the next slide. Here's a couple of examples. So let me just share with you, you know, how great these were. You see the little poster on the left-hand side. This was the runner-up from the first semester that we worked with students, and this was a Blair students project. It's a poster she created. This was part of her project in her buildings, her apartment complex that had a place where people were supposed to bring their recycling, was totally junked. Nobody knew where to put anything. Nobody knew what was recyclable, what wasn't. So as her action project, she created this poster and she made a presentation and did a lot of other activities to educate her apartment complex residents on what can be recycled, how to recycle it, where to put the plastic, how to deal with plastic bags, etc. Very proud of her. On the left-hand photograph, you can see our students from Kennedy High School last fall who made a presentation to the Board of Education on what they had learned about plastics waste and how their ideas for reducing plastic waste in schools. So we couldn't be, you know, more impressed with the action projects that we have received. Not every student participates in the action project. In fact, most of the students who have gone through have not. And this is something that is a challenge to us, and we want to try to build on that in the future because we are facing barriers for students to participate in action projects. There's the barrier of transportation. There's the pressure of schoolwork at the end of the semester. And then more than anything, I think, is the newness of this kind of activity and the students' lack of experience in participating with community groups. I think we can go to the next slide.
I think that's it. The next slide is that's basically the thank you, and then
okay. So I just wanted to add just a wee bit about our students and what we hope all of you can, you know, help us with in terms of the program. Clean Headwaters supports students who are not necessarily the highest academic achievers in their schools. We really want to make this a program that is available to every student because we find that every student is really engaged with their environment when they have the confidence to go out there. The community groups largely have been very welcoming and supportive of our student involvement. We've had Friends of Sligo Creek, Neighbors of the Northwest Branch, the Rotary Clubs, etc., invite our students to present to them, and that's been a really positive experience for them. Also, the coordination and support from MCPS and educators makes a real difference. We've had some really great support from the teachers we've been involved with, and we're looking to increase that. And with that, I will let Wendy wind up.